السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمده ونشكره ونتوب إليه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد، ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ومن يطع الله والرسول فأولئك مع الذين أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين، وحسن أولئك رفيقا، ذلك الفضل من الله، كفى بالله عليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا Muhammad وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We begin by declaring none is worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we declare and testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his final messenger. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower his blessings on Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and all of those who follow and tread in his path until the day of judgment. Ameen ya Rabb. Brothers and sisters, the most important thing in this life after serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our families. The most important thing after our faith in this life, it is our families, specifically our children, for those who have children. So the important question arises that we should ponder on is the question of how is my relationship with my children? How is my relationship with my children? Do you find yourself in a healthy relationship with your child or with your children? an open line of communication with your father or with your mother? Or do you find the relationship between child and parent one as of a dictatorship, where, subhanAllah, the parent just says, do this, do that, do this, do that, A, B, and C, and the child complies? And generally speaking, these types of relationships tend to be unhealthy. So, inshallah, this is the topic for the khutbah today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Ameen. The first age group I would like to speak about is when our children it's a big group. Anywhere from 3 years old to roughly about, we can say 11 or 12 years old. 11 or 12 years of age. These 9 years, give and take, it's very crucial, because at this age, the only thing a child desires is to please or to receive the approval of his parent or her parent. The only thing a child wants at this age, at these 9 years, is the approval of his parent, of his father or his mother. That's the only thing he's seeking. He or she wants to be shown that they're appreciated, that they are appreciated, that they're loved by their parents, by their mother and by their father. And this is their entire life at these ages. Just seeking our approval, just seeking our happiness, that we are content with them as your child. And subhanAllah, one thing that we have to understand, brothers and sisters, is that we have to appreciate what our children do for us. SubhanAllah, when your daughter brings to you a drawing, it's nothing to you. Be supportive of this. Be supportive of this. SubhanAllah, little children. When I say little children, I'm talking about this age group that I mentioned, anywhere from 3 to 12, give or take. So subhanAllah, when some of the parents, they pick up their children from school, we notice that coming from school all the way back home, the only thing that this child does, or our children do, is just talk. SubhanAllah, I did this today in school, I ate this today in school, I drew a mountain, I drew a bear, this, that, and the third. Just keep talking and talking and talking. And we as parents, not myself, us as parents, the parents with us, we have to listen. It's our duty and responsibility to listen to everything they're saying and be interested in the conversation that they're having, even though it's meaningless to us. We don't care what they drew, but this is a sign of a good parent. That even though he might not really care about what the child is talking about over and over again, we still have to care. Because, coming to the second point I want to make, the first one was the age group of anywhere from 3, a young child. Now, let's speak about teenagers. Now, we said that little children, all they do is talk when we're in the car, when the parents and when the families are going outside, or they're picking their children up to school. We agreed that, subhanAllah, all children do is talk. They love to talk and talk about their day. But, subhanAllah, is this the same case with teenagers? When we pick our teenagers up from school, or when we're driving them places, or when we're with them alone, do we see the same result, the same thing happening? We see the exact opposite happening. We pick our teenagers up from school, and it's complete silence in the car. Yet it's us now begging for them to speak. Before, it was they couldn't stop speaking, and they couldn't stop sharing what they did in the day, what they ate, what they draw. Now, fast forward a few years, subhanAllah, now they don't speak at all. Silence. How was your day? It was okay. What did you do? Something. Where are you going? Somewhere. Complete silence. Because what some of the parents are failing to do is give our children, their children, that attention that they were seeking when they were young children. Don't forget, subhanAllah, when our children seek our attention at a young age, I'll give the example. Your daughter brings you a drawing, and you tell your daughter, leave me alone, I'm working right now, go to your mother. Your children will remember these statements. And don't forget, today, your child, your son or your daughter is begging and craving your attention. There will come a day where you as a parent will crave and beg for their attention. So give your child the attention they need now. So that, subhanAllah, in a few years, when you desire the same attention, they will reciprocate it like you did when they were younger. My brothers and sisters, the true job, our true careers, they lie at home. When we go out, for the people studying medicine or whatever career you're studying in, this is just a means to actually serve as a foundation for what's going on at home. So don't say things like, I work for 8 hours, 7 hours at work, now I'm going to go home and rest and not spend quality time with our children. But subhanAllah, when you go home, this is when the true job begins. So brothers and sisters, spend that quality time with your children. For verily, subhanAllah, there will be a day that will come soon where subhanAllah, the roles will reverse. It will take a 360-degree spin. And subhanAllah, that same attention, you didn't give it to your child. How can you expect now for this child to talk to you? And then we ask ourselves, we go to the imams and therapists, and we complain, subhanAllah, my child doesn't speak to me. Brother, did you speak to your child when he was young? Think about this, inshallah. So, be good fathers, brothers and sisters. For the sisters, be good mothers. Be a father, be a good father, be a support system for your child. Don't, and children, the youth of this community, don't replace your parents with technology. Some of the big mistakes we make is give like a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old an iPhone. By doing this, you will never see them again. And you have Wi-Fi in your room. Some of our children, they don't see us, the parents, as parents. They see them nothing less or nothing more than a dollar sign. Some of our children only come to us as the parents when they need something. When they need money, or when they need the newest phone, or the newest gaming system, or whatever. And the problem that lies within this, these unstable and unhealthy relationships, is that the second your child becomes independent, okay, the second your child becomes independent and begins to make just a little amount of money, your child will leave you in a heartbeat because you have nothing to offer. Some parents believe and think that good parenting, it's only providing a roof over their child's head and giving them and providing with food. And of course, yes, the answer to this is yes. This is the foundation of good parenting, but is it okay for us to say that this is all parenting is? Good parenting is just feeding my child and putting clothes in his bed. Brother, do you talk to your child? Do you talk to your child? Do you know who your child is? Or like I said, it's just that dictator relationship between you and your child. And by this type of relationship, you will destroy and you will lose your children. Wallahi al-azim, you will lose your children. And the answer, subhanAllah, these issues that arise within our family relationships, there's one answer to this question, or this issue. And the solution is, we must become best friends with our children. And I know this sounds kind of foolish to the older generation, because it doesn't really exist with the previous generation. But in order to have this healthy relationship, the parent must become the child's best friend. There's no other way. We have to become our child's best friend. Our children should want to hang out with us, their parents, more than their friends. When a child has something on his mind, something's bothering him, something's depressing him, making him sad, he has anxiety, the first person this child should open up to, not his friends, it should be his parents or her parents. But subhanAllah, how far have we strayed from this? SubhanAllah. I'll give you an example. A son opens up to his father for the first time in his life. And subhanAllah, this exists so much, my brothers and sisters. This is from a son opens up to his father. He says, subhanAllah, maybe he's talking about he's doing poorly in a class, in college or something. He says, Father, subhanAllah, Dad, I'm trying really hard in this class. I'm putting in extra hours, but I don't understand what the professor's saying. I'm failing the class. What does the father say? Instead of being supportive of his son, usually what our fathers say, so you're stupid. You're not trying hard enough. You're lazy. What this father has done by just a few statements, by just a few words, a few sentences, he has completely closed the door of communication between him and his son. Completely closed. Don't expect your son to ever express what's in his heart or on his mind. SubhanAllah, a daughter goes to her father or her mother and says, Dad, SubhanAllah, there's this guy, I kind of like him. He's a really good man. He prays 5 times a day, and I think he'd be good for me. And what does the father do? He loses control. He starts screaming, Astaghfirullah, you're talking to boys? Haram! Even though she's seeking to marry him in a halal manner. What has his father done? Completely shut the door of communication with his daughter. And this is the situation that we find ourselves in. Majority of our parents. SubhanAllah, all the time I see, SubhanAllah, son and father coming to the masjid. They're coming in the same car, in the same vehicle, coming together to the masjid, praying side by side. But they're not speaking to one another. They're not looking at one another. This is a huge problem, brothers and sisters. A huge problem. SubhanAllah, sometimes we find ourselves, children living with their parents in the same house. Children and parents living in the same house. Yet they behave and act as if they are thousands and thousands of miles apart. How many times, SubhanAllah, people come to me, and SubhanAllah, mothers, like my child has not spoken to me for weeks. There is a big problem here. And the problem, it doesn't just lie, because parents like to believe it's just a child. The problem goes both ways, brothers and sisters. You have to ask yourself, how did you raise your child? Do you talk to your child? Do you know who your child is? What he struggles, what he fears, what she fears, what she desires to become in the future? Do you really truly know your child? Or like I said, just that dictator relationship. Do this, do that, A, B, and C. Just get a good degree and get a good job, and that's all I need. Are you training and raising your children to become good people? What good is a degree from Harvard University, a medical degree from Harvard University, if your child, SubhanAllah, is just a bad person? Not emphasizing like both are important, of course, education. But SubhanAllah, strive to not compete and make your child a showpiece. Truly care about your child. And we are able to see in children if they were raised like, SubhanAllah, their parents love them. And of course, All parents love their children, of course, but we have different ways of showing it. My point of this khutbah is show your child that you love him. Some of us, we don't show our children that we love them. So be kind, be soft, be loving, be merciful. This is exactly why one of the Sahaba, one of the companions, he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kissing his grandson, Al-Hasan. And then he went to Rasulullah, he went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I have 10 children. I have 10 children, but I don't kiss any of them. And kissing here is referring to showing them affection, because kissing is a sign of affection. So I don't kiss my children, meaning he's not affectionate. He doesn't truly show his children his love. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told this man, "Innahu la yarham, la yarham." Verily, the one who doesn't give mercy, he will not receive mercy. And this is your child, this is your own blood. SubhanAllah. The way you raise this child, brothers and sisters, the way you raise your children and the way you behave with your children, ultimately it will decide how they will behave with you once they start thinking. Once they start thinking. Because once they start thinking and they start understanding the world around them, and they become independent, they will leave you. In the matter of a second of a heartbeat, subhanAllah. In a heartbeat they will leave you. Because you have nothing to offer. Like I said, this relationship, it's not just feeding your child or putting clothes over his back. That's part of the relationship. The core foundation. Now build the building. Now build your child, love your child. When your child brings you something and it's meaningless to you, pretend like you care. Pretend like you care. Because then a few years later, there will be a time where you would want to show something to your child. And your child will do the same thing you did a few years ago. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to have healthy relationship with our children. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, as we know, subhanAllah, today is January 1st, so according to the Gregorian calendar, it's the New Year's. And I hope, inshallah, this year firstly, subhanAllah, was such a difficult year. Of course, because of the COVID-19. I'm sure there are brothers with us, subhanAllah, they lost loved ones because of this virus. And subhanAllah, I hope and I pray that this year taught us to be grateful. I hope that this virus, subhanAllah, maybe it took a virus for us to be grateful. I hope this year served as a reminder just to be grateful of simple, yet subhanAllah, such huge blessings we have from Allah. When we're chasing this dunya, this life and wealth, we forget about such big blessings. SubhanAllah, just having 2 arms, 2 legs, being able to breathe. Brother, you're healthy, your family's healthy. What more can you ask at a time like this now? What more can you ask for? SubhanAllah. And I encourage, everyone makes New Year's resolutions. I encourage us for 2021, to set this goal to help people. Set the goal to help people, brothers and sisters. Because there's someone in some part of this world, you're a Muslim brother and sister, who's suffering in a hospital bed because of this virus. So make it a goal of yours in 2021 to give back to the poor, to give back to the needy, to give back to orphans, these people who have nothing. Who will take care of them? Us, inshallah. You know, subhanAllah, when we're celebrating Eid and we're celebrating this New Year's by gathering and just eating maybe a dinner with our families. Dear brother, there's someone out there who doesn't have a family, who doesn't have a home. And it's such a blessing that you have one and he doesn't. Because this is the qadr of Allah. But make it a goal. Personally, I will, inshallah, but I highly encourage you for 2021 and inshallah the rest of your life, brothers and sisters, try and give back to your community. Try and give sadaqah every week. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you with wealth, give it every day. And I'm not fundraising for the masjid. Any organization you wish to give to. Any organization. But try and make a difference in this world. Try and make a difference in this world. By giving back to the ones who don't have clothes on their back. They don't have food to eat. Some people wake up in the morning and they don't have an idea, will I eat tonight or not? Kids dying, subhanAllah, 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds dying because they don't have food. Try to make this a resolution, try to make this a goal in 2021 that you will try your best, inshallah, to help these causes, any organization you feel comfortable with. But try, inshallah, to make this a goal of yours. To give back to your community, to give back to the poor, the needy, al-fuqara, al-masakeen, al-yatim, to the orphans, because this is one of the most beloved acts to Allah. When a slave, when we work hard for our money, we make halal rizq, and then we spend this halal wealth for the sake of Allah, by helping people that have nothing. This is one of the most beloved acts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah will allow us to become worthy of this status. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give shifa to our brother Abu Khalid, who subhanAllah is very active in our community. He was diagnosed with COVID-19 along with his entire family. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him shifa, his entire family shifa, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to heal him and his family. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to heal our brother Mahir and allow him to return to his family safely, inshaAllah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect all of us and heal all those who are sick in our communities. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhab an-nar. اللهم إنا نسألك الجنة الفردوس ونعوذ بك من النار. اللهم اشف مرضانا اللهم اشف مرضانا اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر المسلمين في سوريا وفي فلسطين وفي غزة وفي مصر وفي اليمن. اللهم انصر المسلمين في أفريقيا وفي الصين وفي أفغانستان وفي الهند وفي باكستان. اللهم انصر المسلمين في السودان وفي الصومال. اللهم انصر المسلمين في كل مكان برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا